All right, well, let's get started here. My name is Elliot, and I'm with MMA Guillotine, and this is just something new that I want to start. I want to start my own prediction show. I've been to quite a few events. Well, not quite a few, I mean a few. And actually, I'm wearing my UFC 84 shirt, Ill Will. It's probably my favorite card ever. I was actually at that show. That was the first one I ever went to. But I mean, other shows I've been to, just if you're curious, UFC 96 in Columbus, UFC 101 in Philly, UFC 111 in Newark, New Jersey, UFC 119 in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then WEC 47 in Columbus, Ohio. I'm a big fan. I love reading. I love watching. Actually, reading right now is this book. It's called No Holds Barred by Clyde Gentry. I'm about quarter way through the book, or maybe third way through. If you're, I love reading about this stuff. Maybe you do too. But most books that I've really read are on autobiographies of fighters. Like I read Chuck Liddell's, Randy Couture, Forrest Griffin's. I don't know if you count that as an autobiography. It's more of a comedy book. But this book's more on the history of the sport, where it all began. Starts about where Rickson and Jorge and Gracie, how they began UFC with I can't began the UFC with somebody Davey. I can't remember his name. And then how they decided what Gracie would represent the sport. Obviously, Hoist Gracie did UFC 1 and won UFC 2, and I think he won UFC 4 after that. But whatever. It's on the history of where the sport began and kind of all the obstacles that it came to get to where it is today. So if you're interested in stuff like that, maybe like I am, go check it out. But this card has been beaten to death. I mean, it's been shaken up more than a shake weight due to injuries. I mean, if you're watching this, maybe you know what all the fights are. We're going to go through them. But we got Brad Pickett was supposed to fight Miguel Torres. Brad Pickett got hurt. Cody McKenzie was supposed to fight Bart Palaszewski. Cody McKenzie got hurt. Kid Yamamoto was supposed to fight Chris Cariaso. Kid Yamamoto got hurt. Frankie Edgar was supposed to fight Gray Maynard. They both got hurt. I mean, this card has been hurt severely due to injuries, which is very unfortunate because, you know, a lot of people are complaining, but the fighters, I mean, they have no control over the fate of where they're going to be for this card. And I feel real bad for a lot of the fighters. Obviously, the new main event is Rampage versus Hamill. I think I mean, the card is still great, but they should have given us another fight because most fights are typically 11 to 12 cards or fights in an entire card. This card only has 10. So I think the ticket holders, actually I'm going to this event, I don't know if I mentioned that, they should have been given at least an extra fight on the prelims or something. I mean, it's unfortunate that all these injuries have happened, and I hope no more happen because this card can't afford to have anything else happen to it. But those are just kind of my thoughts on that without sounding like somebody bitching about it. But I just think they should have done something rather than just moving the co-main event to the main event. They should have at least given us something else. Because when you buy tickets, you buy tickets to what? I mean, you're hoping for a championship fight. I mean, that's maybe one of the reasons why people buy tickets. I think that they should be given something similar. I know when they announced it May 9th that it was going to be Rampage versus Hamill. I mean, there's almost 3 weeks there where they could have done something to replace it. I mean, I know from history that they've replaced fights with like a week before the card starts. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just give us something to replace the loss of Frankie versus Gray. I'm not asking for a main event. I'm asking for just something, anything, something on the prelims or maybe on a new fight for Spike TV, whatever. I'm just a little frustrated in how they handled that, but really excited to go to this card. I'm going with my brother. We're heading down to Memorial Day weekend for this show, and I can't wait. But let's go ahead and get started on the prelims. I think the prelims are great because if you're on the prelims, I think a lot of the fighters know they're on the prelims for a reason. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes they have fighters who the card's so stacked. You know, they got a couple fighters who are like Thiago Alves, for instance. He was going to be on the prelims. I mean, they got great fighters on prelims sometimes, but a lot of the fighters are fighting on prelims due to the fact that, you know, maybe they lose this fight, they're done, and these guys bring it. And I think what they're doing with this Facebook thing is only doing some of these fighters justice because they're fighting for their job. I mean, they're fighting for a paycheck. And when they have fights on prelims, sometimes you hear like it's fight of the night was like when I was at UFC 111, it was Jared Hannon versus Rodney Wallace. That was fight of the night, and I don't know if that fight was ever aired, but that was a fantastic fight. But anyway, let's get started. We got Gleison Tibau versus Bartemis Palaszewski. Gleison's fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. He's got his last win was over Kurt Pellegrino at UFC 128. He's been in the UFC for quite a long time. He fought all the way back at UFC 65. He fought Nick Diaz there and he lost. And he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whereas Bart Palaszewski is also a black belt. I love this guy. He's an exciting fighter to watch. He's got a win over Anthony Pettis. He's actually coming off a loss though over Kamal Shalouras at WEC 53 by split decision. I actually thought he won that fight though. He's got 16 KOs, 11 submissions, 8 decisions. He went 4-3 in the WEC, and this is his first fight in the UFC. I think Gleison's going to win this fight, but I want Bart to win this fight because I think Bart's a more exciting fighter, and Gleison's one of the bigger lightweights out there. But that's why I think Gleison's probably going to win this fight by unanimous decision. But I hope Bart wins. Anyway, next up we got Cole the Apache Kid Escovedo versus Renan Barao. Renan was originally supposed to fight Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, but they switched that all around when Brad Pickett got hurt. Cole Escovedo is 17-6. This is his first fight in the UFC. He fought in the WEC for a while, where he went 6-2. He fought all the way back at WEC 2 in 2001. A couple of losses he had in the WEC were to Uriah Faber and Jens Pulver, which is nothing to be ashamed of. He actually had a serious staph infection back in 2007, which put him on the sidelines for almost a good 2 years. And he is actually, I think, coming off I forget who he's coming off a win or a loss. I think he fought over in Dream. I could be wrong. But he's definitely an exciting fighter. 6 KOs, 10 submissions, 1 decision. I'm looking forward to seeing this guy fight for the first time. But his opponent is Renan Barao. This guy is no joke. He's 25-1-1, making his UFC debut. He's currently on a 15-fight win streak. His only loss was actually his very first fight over in Brazil, where most of his fights have been. And I just see Renan Barao being able to take this fight where he wants to, and I think he's going to go second-round submission by triangle choke. Next up, we got Michael Mayday McDonald versus Chris Cariaso, Chris Kamikaze Cariaso. Michael Mayday McDonald, I'm so happy this guy's on this card because he had a fantastic fight of the night performance. Here's an example. He had a fantastic fight of the night performance against Edwin Figueroa, where he was on the prelims. I mean, this fight was back and forth action, man. I was watching it. It was on Facebook, fortunately, and I was watching it, and I mean, this guy's got a following because of that fight, which is great. That's why I think they should continue to do this. He holds wins over Manny Tapia and Cole Escovedo. His only loss is actually to Cole Escovedo as well. He's 1-1 against that guy. And he's actually only 20 years old, man. This guy's got all the potential in the world, and I'm really excited to see him fight. His opponent, Chris Cariaso, he's 11-2. He's coming off a win over Will Campuzano by unanimous decision at UFC Fight for the Troops. He went 1-1 in the WEC, and this is his second fight in the UFC. The only guy I think he lost to at WEC was Renan Barao, but I just think Michael McDonald's going to win this fight. Maybe I'm a little biased because I like the guy. I think he's going to win by third-round TKO. Next up, we got Kendall the Spider Grove versus Tim Barbarian Boetsch. I just see this fight, I could talk about, but I think it's all going to come down to, not a lot of people are talking about it, but it's Tim's a big light heavyweight. This is his first fight at middleweight. This fight's all going to come down to how the weight cut goes for Tim. I hope it goes great because I like this guy. He's a brawler. He's a bad mother, and he's actually coming off a loss to Phil Davis, so this fight's really important to him to win. But his opponent, Kendall Grove, he's coming off a loss also to Damian Maia at UFC Finale. I saw him fight a few times at cards that I've been to, and he actually won the Ultimate Fighter Season 3 against Ed Herman. But I think Tim's going to win this fight. I just think Tim's a harder working guy. But if the weight cut goes bad, Grove could take this fight where he wants to. It's all going to depend how his cardio and how the weight cut was. Next up, we got the second fight on Spike TV, Miguel Torres versus Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. Miguel Torres is 39-3, whereas Demetrious is 9-1. And Miguel, I mean, he's coming off a win over Antonio Benuelas at UFC 126. Kind of a controversial fight because it wasn't the typical, the typical Miguel Torres that he usually is. He's very conservative, not that aggressive in the fight, and you could tell Antonio was getting a little frustrated in there. I hope he doesn't continue to fight like that because it's not exciting. The thing is you want to see exciting fights. You just don't want to. You don't want to see. No offense, but you don't want to see John Fish fights all the time. I mean, you want to see an exciting fight. Guy's going for the win, and it was a very kind of mediocre fight, and I wasn't really too happy with it. But Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson, man, this guy is an animal. His only loss is to Brad Pickett. He went 2-1 in the WEC. This is his second fight in the UFC. He's actually coming off a win at UFC 126 over Kid Yamamoto. But I think this fight's going to go to the decision, but I'm actually going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Demetrious Johnson by unanimous decision. Next up, we got the first fight on the card. We got Thiago Pitbull Alves versus Rick the Horror Story. Thiago Alves is coming off a win over John Howard at UFC 124 in Montreal. He's got 11 KOs, 1 submission, 6 decision. That was his first fight back he was having a tough time getting down the weight, and he signed up with Mike Dolce for the Dolce diet, and he's been on that since UFC 117, where he didn't make weight for John Fitch. But that fight over John Howard was a pretty exciting fight. I mean, I enjoyed watching it, and I think Thiago Pitbull is back, man. He is more motivated than ever. He kind of went. He was talking about how he had a couple real low lows where he went with that 2-fight losing streak, and I just think he's back and back better than ever because Rick the Horror Story called him out in this fight after he beat I think it was Johnny Hendricks or Dustin Haslett, I forget, but he called out Thiago Alves, and he wanted this fight, but I don't know if he's going to want it after I think Alves is going to win, because I think he's going to win by TKO. And next up, we got a fight I'm really looking forward to. Brian All-American Stann versus Jorge Santiago. Brian Stann is 10-3. He trains in Jackson's camp. He's got 7 KOs, 1 decision, 1 submission, 2 decisions. He's coming off a first-round knockout of Chris Lieben, which was awesome. He was actually supposed to fight Vanderlei at this card, but that Vanderlei didn't want to fight him. Blah 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 blah. It was kind of stupid. But his opponent is Jorge Santiago. Is 23-8. He's from Brazil, but he fights out of Boca Raton, Florida. He actually had a 1-2 run in the UFC where he won a fight, and then he lost to Chris Lieben and Alan Belcher, both by KO. He's got a suspect chin. Then he went to Sengoku and Strikeforce and has gone 11-1 since. But I think Stann is a powerful dude, and he's going to be able to pull the win off by first round TKO. Next up, we got Stefan the Skyscraper Struve versus Travis Browne. Struve is 6'11", whereas Browne is 6'7". They're both purple belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I like Struve on this fight. I think he's a nasty kickboxer. He's coming off 2 back-to-back wins over Sean McCorkle and Christian Moorcraft, and I think Struve's going to be able to pull out a second-round knockout in this fight. It would give Browne his first loss, but the last fight he had against Czech Congo, where Czech Congo lost a point for pulling on the shorts or something like that. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting fight ever, but he's got suspect cardio, and I just think that Struve is the more well-rounded guy. All right, our last 2 fights, we got Frank Mir versus Roy Big Country Nelson. I think I'm running out of time here, but we got Roy Nelson. I think Roy Nelson's going to take this by 3rd round KO. And then last up, we got Quinton Rampage Jackson versus Matt the Hammer Hamill. I think Jackson's going to be able to win, and he's going to be able to win by 1st round knockout, because I think Hammer's strategy is actually going to be to come and stand with him. I think Hammer's got the balls to do it. I love Matt Hamill. He's awesome. I really want to see his new movie he's got out, but I think Jackson's going to be able to stuff the takedown. I think he's going to knock him out, but I don't know. I'd be happy if Matt Hamill won because I like the guy. But that's it. I'm running out of time. I gotta go. So I hope you guys like this, and please feel free to let me know what I'm doing right and wrong.